Have you ever felt that a single day in your past keeps haunting you, as if it never really ended? What if that day wasn't gone at all, but waiting for you to return? Mara had lived her whole life trying to forget March 17, 2006, the day her brother Daniel disappeared without a trace. She was 16, he was 12, and one moment he was riding his bike down Maple Street, the next he was gone. The police searched, the neighborhood panicked, and her parents shattered. No leads, no answers, only silence. 18 years later, Mara was a teacher, living a quiet life in a city apartment filled with too many books and too little light. But every night she dreamed of that street. The bike on the sidewalk, her brother's laughter echoing and then cutting off like a broken tape. She'd wake up with tears on her face, whispering his name into the dark. Then came the letter. It arrived in her mailbox on a rainy Tuesday, no return address, just her name in blocky handwriting she swore she recognized. Inside was a single sheet of paper, yellowed at the edges. 6 words. March 17th is not over. Mara froze. The date was burned into her bones. Her first thought was that it was a cruel joke, but something in her gut twisted. She flipped the page and nearly fainted. At the bottom was Daniel's signature, her brother's, the boy who vanished 18 years ago. From that moment, the air around her life shifted. Lights flickered in her apartment. Her phone glitched, rewinding voicemails she had already deleted. Street clocks seemed to stutter when she walked past. Time itself seemed broken. And then she saw him. Crossing an intersection one evening, she spotted a boy on a bicycle. Same striped hoodie, same messy hair, same laugh. He pedaled past her and vanished into the crowd, leaving her breathless, trembling. She ran after him, but he was gone, like smoke in sunlight. The next letter arrived the following week. This time, it wasn't 6 words, it was instructions. Go to Maple Street, midnight, bring the watch. Mara didn't own a watch. At least, she thought she didn't. But when she checked her father's old storage box, there it was. A cracked pocket watch she hadn't seen in years, engraved with the initials D.H., her brother's. The watch ticked erratically, skipping seconds, sometimes running backward. And carved faintly inside the lid was a phrase: turn once to see yesterday, turn twice to change it. Her hands shook. She didn't believe in magic. She didn't believe in miracles. But she believed in Daniel. She had to. At midnight, she stood on Maple Street, rain soaking her coat. The watch ticked violently in her palm. With a deep breath, she turned it once. The world dissolved. When it reformed, her heart nearly stopped. She was standing in the same street, but it wasn't the present. The streetlights were dimmer, the houses freshly painted, the cars older. A calendar in a shop window read March 17, 2006. She was back. She ran, searching, screaming for Daniel. And then, there he was, 12 years old, pedaling down the street. For a moment, joy exploded in her chest. She could save him, she could stop it. But as she sprinted toward him, a figure stepped out of the shadows. A man in a black coat, face hidden by the brim of his hat. Daniel swerved toward him, and the world cracked. Mara screamed. Time froze mid-motion. The watch burned hot in her hand, and the man turned to look at her. You don't belong here, he said softly. Mara's breath caught. Who are you? His smile was sharp. I'm what happens when people refuse to let go. The street trembled like glass about to shatter. Mara clutched the watch, desperate. She turned it again. The world spun. When she landed, she was back in her apartment. Present day, heart racing, clothes still wet from 2006. The watch ticked weakly, cracks spiderwebbing across its face, and taped to her door was another note. 1 turn left. Choose wisely. From then on, Mara lived in torment. Every night she held the watch. Every day she asked herself the same question. Should she use the last turn to save Daniel, or to let him go? Because deep down, she knew the truth. Saving him might not save him at all. It might break the world instead. Weeks passed. Letters kept arriving. Some were pleas, written in Daniel's childish scrawl. Others were warnings, in her own handwriting, older, frantic. Do not turn it again. End it now, or it never ends. The final choice came on another rainy Tuesday. Mara sat by the window, watch in one hand, letters in the other. The second hand stuttered, begging to be turned, and outside on the street below she saw him again, Daniel. Smiling, waiting. Her tears blurred the world. She whispered, "I'm sorry," and turned the watch one last time. The world cracked open, streets twisted. The sky bled with colors she had no name for. She stood at the center of a storm of time itself, faces from every version of her life flashing around her. Daniel as a child. Daniel as a teenager. Daniel growing older. Versions that had never existed. The man in the black coat appeared again, voice booming over the chaos. "This is what you wanted, a life rewritten, but every second has a cost. Who will pay it, Mara? Him or you?" She clutched her brother's hand, pulling him close, heartbreaking. And with her final breath before the storm consumed them, she whispered into his ear, "Live the life I couldn't." And then, silence. When Mara opened her eyes, she was no longer herself. She was 12 years old on a bicycle pedaling down Maple Street. Daniel's voice called behind her, "Wait for me." She turned and saw him, older, wiser, wearing her coat, and in his hand, the broken watch. Time had chosen differently. The loop was not broken, only rewritten. And as the seconds ticked on, one truth echoed louder than all the rest. Some days never end. They only begin again.